Donald Trump is once again putting the world on notice, this time over who gets to enter the United States. Under a new proposal, foreign tourists could soon be forced to hand over up to 5 years of their social media history before being allowed into the country. That includes posts, usernames, and online activity across multiple platforms. Now, the policy would apply to travellers from Visa Waiver nations. That includes Australia, the UK, and most of Europe. The official line is national security. Supporters argue it will help screen out extremists. Critics say it's mass surveillance dressed up as border protection. Privacy advocates are warning this could chill free speech because what you post at home could now determine whether you get on a plane. And it raises a much bigger question. Is this about safety or control? I really don't understand why the United States is contemplating this. We all know Donald Trump doesn't like criticism, but is he really not going to let people into the country because they criticize him? Because what's weird about making it harder for tourists to enter the United States at this point in time is the impact it has across service industries who rely on tourists. It could not come at a worse time. Have a look at this. These are the latest job figures, and they were dire.
This was another brutal report on America's job market, revealing significant weakness in November, especially among smaller businesses. So ADP says that private payrolls fell by 32,000 jobs in November. Now, not only is that much worse than the expected gain of 40,000 jobs, this is the worst month since March of 2023. Now, we never want to make too much about any one month, but when you look at the trend, it doesn't look encouraging either. ADP says that private payrolls fell in June, August, September, and November. So that means businesses shed jobs in 4 out of the last 6 months. And the closely watched 3-month average turned negative for the first time since the summer of 2020. Of course, that was during COVID.
So they had job losses during COVID, which is to be expected, but 32,000 jobs in November. And things are getting so bad for the US economy, President Trump is now having to bail out farmers to the tune of $12 billion. Farmers have been hit hard by Trump's tariffs to the tune of around $35 to $44 billion. That means the bailout still leaves a significant shortfall. So you've got job problems, and now you're deterring tourists from going over and spending their money. And especially when you see what's happening with ICE raids and the pictures I keep seeing on my social media feeds, why would you want to go to the States at the moment? If this goes ahead, it fundamentally changes what international travel looks like. You're no longer just showing your passport, you're handing over your digital life. America is meant to be the land of free speech, and yet they're dictating what we can and can't say through fear of not being able to get into the country. Now, they're a sovereign country, they can do whatever they like. But anytime we in Australia have stopped an American coming in, they decry free speech. If they've done hate speech and we say they're not fit to come into this country, that is extreme examples when we've done that. And yet right now, any one of my editorials where I've criticised the president could be used and I may not be allowed into America. It's a really sad state of affairs, and sad for a nation that is all about freedom and a freedom of expression and freedom of free speech. I think this is appalling, and I really hope they don't go through with it. But it's becoming a totalitarian society, or a totalitarian. Totalitarian.
Yes.
Don't know why I slipped on that. I've only had one sip of champagne. But that's what it's becoming. And especially when I see what's those ICE strikes, it's like the Gestapo in Nazi Germany. And isn't it interesting how people get on board with these oppressive rules? Suddenly I can see how it happened in Germany. We all look back and go, how did it happen? I don't know what Trump's end goal is here, but he's certainly harming his country, and it's certainly not a place I want to visit. We've invited you here. You don't need to apologise for your story or for what you're saying. I heard the yapping. There was a lot I didn't understand about myself until I had that diagnosis. Don't get the shitties with me. Oh,
Sky. No, that's Sky.
Fun, insightful interviews from a watchdog producer